Hello everybody, my name is BigPot. Today we're going to be doing a video on Linux, specifically ArchLinux private repositories. So like you have official repositories hosted by ArchLinux itself, you can have your own repositories for Pacman that you can use. But why would you want to use such repositories? For offline installations. Let's say you have your own systems, multiple systems. Maybe some are not connected to internet or have sometimes connection to internet. Maybe you're using a metered connection. Maybe you would like to learn. That's a good reason. Maybe you have many computers. And why download, I don't know, 200, 300 packages after standing up your system if you can have them on your own, on one of your own machines. And a reason, you have your own packages or your own compiled packages. Maybe you do not want always to think about AUR if you're just installing a package. Even the package is in AUR, you can still put it in your own repository. Let's say what I do, I have multiple ArchLinux systems. I make a package on one system, then I install it on multiple systems through my repository. That's a great way to use it. Or let's say you're not liking how the Arch user repository make package actually is configured, and you want to have your own configuration of build and so on, you can do that too. There are many reasons why I want your own repository, and this was just a few of them. So let's continue into how to make a repository. Okay, so let's make the repository now. So as you see, I prepared a package. But right now, before we actually jump into it, I gotta say I have a couple of warnings slash attention things to say. First of all, you have to watch out what base you're using. While Arch is the base of every Arch system, logically, but there is differences. For example, if you're using Salient OS from Silent Robot, or Arco from Eric Dubois and Arco team, those should be 100% compatible with Arch base. But something like Manjaro, which uses its own repositories, could be a little bit sketchy especially when with packages that have specific dependencies. The one we're using doesn't have any dependencies, it's a team, but some could have certain problems. But before we actually talk about packages and dependencies, that will be our next video, how to make a package. I'm going to actually make a repository. So first we need a directory where we're going to have that repository. So let's make a directory, mkdir. Let's name it repo. And let's move to there. So you see we have empty thing. Let's move back out because now we're going to do something cool. We type in repo add. Now we going to type in path to repository. So repo slash, now the name of the repository, for example, what should we name it? BigPot YT repo. This is actually important about to name it because the same name will have to be used later on in the files for Pacman. So BigPod repository could be a great name. Does not exist. Now that's an error that I intentionally did, because what we need is an extension that is the archive extension. So we're gonna do .db.tar.gz. With that we get a repository. So now we are close to a repository. Now we could just press enter and it will create an empty repository. If we go to repo, we get this official file structure. Good file structure for empty repo, but that's not what we wanted. So let's just go back to repo and just rm star, just so we can see what can be done for more. That's a way we can do it without actually adding any packages. But since we have a package, why don't we just add it? So I press DT or D and then tab completion, and now press enter. It will add the package. Okay, time for an addendum. I forgot to tell you how to add a package to already established repositories. So let's just clear this, go there. And there is nothing here. Why? Oh, we know why. Let's go to repo. We already have a package here. So just copy it out into home. Now we have a package here. Let's just go back. I'm looking for a specific command. This is it. Basically the same as adding repository, as creating repository, because you actually recreate the whole repository when you add new package. Press enter. It will fail to acquire log file. Why? Because I'm not sudo right now, because it is sudo owned. We type in my password and it will tell us that the entry already exists, but it will re-add it, and that's it. So this is how you add it. Basically the same as you would create a package, create a repository, because adding a package is recreating a repository. Basically it extracts the whole database, it adds a new file, adds a new entry, and repackages it. And then of course you need to copy the repository, copy the file. So sudo cp /repo, and there it is. Thank you. But as you see here, everything is great. Now we just need to somehow post this. So what are you going to do? Let's just sudo, not apt, we don't need apt here, we need pacman -s, and let's install, for example, Apache 2. We enter our password. No, there is no host Apache. Let's try httpd. Nope. Example 3, Apache. And there it is. What did I say? Isn't always just first things that come to mind. Here I forgot I use different distributions all the time. So on Ubuntu its package is named Apache 2. On what's his name? Fedora it's HTTPD, as in HTTPD daemon, HTTP daemon. So now we have that. So where does that file is? Where we can, the directory for the server is? It's in slash, check it's cdsrv serve, and it's HTTP to the HTTP. As you see, it's empty. Let's just touch or like nano. Let's say hello YouTube. Index.html. Just a basic. Okay, we need chmod plus. Okay, let's just go sudo nano index.html. Hello YouTube. Just simple hello YouTube. Basically simple file, but as we'll see, this won't be enough. It's a really easy, the smallest, easiest way to do it. 127.0.0.1. It should bring us to hello YouTube, but it doesn't. Why not? Let's just do something like sudo systemctl start. Let's see if there is Apache. No, it's not. There is HTTPD service. Great. Let's start it now. Let's try again. Hello YouTube. Nice. Now how to most quickly get that up and running, that repository to be seen from internet. Easy. We go to root and we go sudo ln as in link, then we do a soft link -s. We go slash home slash bigpot ytarch repo, and we move it into it serve httpd and we go repo, and there it is. Let's go, let's check it out again. What we'll see then? 192.127.0.0.1 slash what? Repo. We get access forbidden. Let's see this. So the srv slash http clear ls lah. So we see everything. Huh. Why is access forbidden? My guess? This. Let's just make chown root repo, and let's just make everything that. Boom. Now let's try again. Still access forbidden. Huh. This should work, but it's actually what we wanna do, because we're gonna wanna go here, not here, but here, and we're gonna wanna do sudo nano slash slash pacman dot conf, and let's just go down. Here you see Arco packages, and here is the example of a custom repository. Let's just remove this, and this. So we see this is a file server, but we have that. So HTTP, it is HTTPD. I don't know. It's been a long time. If you actually need to even I need to check stuff out. Yes, you need to do that. I wasn't wrong. 127.0.0.1 slash repo. So sig level, which is what defines how packages and databases must be signed. So if you're using your own repository, you could be optional, you could be trust all. But if it's someone else's repository, you must have like Arco has required. So every package is to be checked. So now let's go with what we have here. So we need to name our repository as the file we named. So Bigpot repository, if I remember correctly. Let's just ls lh slash home bigpot yt repo. Boom. Bigpot repository. So now we just sudo pacman -s yy. Let's see what it does. It is having an unforeseen error. Sorry for language. So what's wrong here? Let's see. Let's do first this. I normally don't host in my home folder, so home pod yt repo into slash repo. Repo. There. Now let's just remove this symlink and just create a new one. Sudo ln -s slash repo slash serve slash http slash repo. This should be it. And we go here. There it is. It was just where it was set up. So that's why I should use a directory which is actually owned by the root user. That's actually the problem. The problem wasn't it was in the home directory or like in subdirectory of home. The problem was that it was the directory yt was actually owned by the yt arch repository was actually owned by Bigpod users. So link had a problems. So let me move it into a folder where it is even the root of it, so which is ironically a root directory, is owned by the same user root. So now let's just do what needs to be done to make it work. Sudo pacman -syy. Let's see, it should pull down, and there it is, 430 bytes. So now let's go sudo pacman -s dt dark theme. See, but we'll see what happens. An error happened. It cannot get the data. Sorry for the Slovenian language. So, but we see requested URL returned error 404. That's because it couldn't get the data. It had an error retrieving data. So, what we forgot to do? We forgot to move the file for the package. So let's go back to home and let's go to sudo mv dt darktheme into slash repo. We're not going to even sync the repository again, just reinstall. Let's see what happens. dt darktheme has successfully installed. While there could be complications, This is basically the most basic way of creating a repository, which for private repository is okay. One of the other reasons I just remembered that you can use a private repository is if you want to create your own, uh, what is it called, your own ISO of ArchLinux. If you wanna create your own ISO of ArchLinux, so-called ArchLinux, build it. Build your own ISO. Bio, but BYOI. Build your own ISO, where AUR repositories are having problems. Same is with Manjaro. AUR cannot be used because those packages aren't in repository that Pacman can use because Pacman does the installation. So you can use this. This is you can create your own repository, and during the creation of the package will be pulled on the ISO from your repository. So this is the simplest way how to create a repository, add files to it, add packages to it, and then host it online for your whole network. One thing that I use these packages is to host my own private programs, my own scripts. I have a couple of programs I made for myself to make my days easy. That basically automates certain stuff, and I put them on my uh, all my systems. So I have Debian repository for it, RPM repository for it, the Fedora repository, and I have Arch repository. I probably, when I start getting into Gentoo, I am probably gonna get a binary package for it, if I can. I'm not that knowledgeable about Gentoo, sadly, so I'm not yet aware if you can actually make your own e-builds or whatever they're called, the files from which they actually understand what Portage needs to do. All I know is that you can actually have a private binary repository and binary packages, binary repositories, and even use them in Portage. That much I know. That much I've seen, so I guess you probably can make your own e-builds and compile them and even have a repository for that, I would guess. But that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Um, Thank you DT for the theme. Truth be told, I use this theme all the time. This is one of the packages that is on my repository, mainly because I use OpenBox, and this theme is the best for me. I like the dark themes, so DT dark theme is great. You can check it out on the DT's GitLab page, gitlab.com/dwt1. So Delta Whiskey Tango 1. And there have three repositories it does. One of them is DT Dark Team. So, but before we actually start this video, I could say thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something from me in this video. Don't forget to like this video, it helps a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to me, the number means a lot to me. Yes, it does, because I know that people actually like my videos, they wanna watch more. Don't forget to press that bell icon, which will, after subscribe of course, which will tell you when my next video goes up. Maybe. Mostly it works. And don't forget to comment. I would always like your feedback. So remember, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget, Linux is cool. And by the way, I use Arch.